All right, y'all. So here's the story, because this is messy. Long story short, she got sued for adultery, ordered to pay almost $2 million. But the way that it happened is extremely sick. It really is. And we got to talk about it. Let's start with this video right here from I'm Not a Lawyer, but let's go.
Brene Kennard, and she's a TikTok influencer currently being sued for sleeping with her friend's husband. And I read all the legal documents, even though I'm not a lawyer. So let me fill you in on this crazy case. Like I said, her name is Brene Kennard. She's an influencer with almost 3 million followers on TikTok. And in May of 2021, she married this man whose name is Devin. Brene and Devin live in North Carolina, and they spent a ton of time hanging out with Devin's cousin Tim and Tim's wife, Akira. Brene and Devin, Tim and Akira. So these two couples hang out, they go on double dates, make social media videos together, go to birthday parties, basketball games, baseball games, all the couple things. Until in January of 2024, Akira discovers a video of Brene, her friend, and Tim, her husband, talking about things that they've done together. And yes, earlier I said Tim and Devin were cousins, so that would mean that Tim slept with his cousin's wife. Akira learns that this affair between her husband and her friend started in December of 2023, and on occasion even happened in her house when she would be asleep. After all of this is discovered, Tim and Brene move out of the homes that they share with their spouses and into a home together.
For all who don't know, me and Devin are divorced. And that's not a good thing, but another thing, your girl is moving.
And then a few months after that, Akira sues Brene, alleging that as a direct result of Brene sleeping with her husband, Akira has suffered humiliation, mental anguish, and injury to her health. She says her children are now deprived of a two-parent household, and Akira is deprived of the love, affection, companionship, and economic support of her own husband because he's given it all to Brene. Akira also says the fact that the two of them are flaunting this relationship all over the internet.
Oh, I thought the music was gonna play.
No, you gotta just do it. Just once.
All right.
Only adds to the humiliation and mental anguish that Akira is already suffering, and so she wants Brene to pay. Now, of course, filing the lawsuit is only the beginning step. So to prepare for trial, Akira and her attorney started sending subpoenas. They asked for Brene's bank statements, her proof of income, her current lease, any video she has of Akira's kids, and all communications between Brene and Tim, including text messages, videos, WhatsApp. She asked for it all. And at first, Brene's attorney responds to the subpoenas by asking the judge for more time to gather all the documents and respond to everything. But even with the new due date, Brene and her attorneys never send anything over. So after their deadline passes, Akira's attorney files a motion asking the judge to sanction or punish Brene and her attorney for not responding to the subpoena, because not having that information is preventing Akira from preparing for this trial. And it's also costing her more money in attorney fees. So this request for sanctions happened on November 20th, 2024. And then the next thing that happens in this case is on January 30th, 2025, when Brene's attorney files a motion to withdraw, like leave the case. The motion says that the defendant, meaning Brene, wants him to withdraw. So now there's a hearing scheduled for April 1st, but a mediator has also been assigned to this case, and it says the deadline for a conference with that mediator is April 19th, and then the trial is scheduled to...
Okay, hold on. Let me get this straight. She has a big audience, millions of followers on TikTok. She got a lot of people on YouTube as well, right? From what I understand about this situation, at one point, they were living in the same house at one point, and they were friends. They're family. Like the husbands are cousins. So you went from one cousin to another cousin, which is crazy. But the fact that from the dude's standpoint, from Tim's standpoint, that you went and got with your cousin's wife, and then you're all up on social media flaunting the fact that you're with your cousin's wife. Meanwhile, you have children at home. You have a wife at home. And you're sleeping with your cousin's wife. I just want it to be clear, because This whole situation is absolutely crazy. Now, I did not know that you could sue for adultery, but I guess there's like 5 states, North Carolina being one of them, where you can sue for adultery. And if I'm being honest, I'm not super mad at that law. I'm not. But we're going to talk about that in a second. Let's continue.
Start on May 19th. So that's the lawsuit between the wife and the girlfriend. But remember, I said Brene was also married. She was married to Devin, who is Tim's cousin. Well, Devin has also filed a lawsuit. His lawsuit is against his cousin, Tim, and it's for the same reasons Akira is suing for, saying that his cousin broke up his marriage. There was also a temporary custody order that was put in place to say that Akira and Tim's kids couldn't be left alone with Brene, but Akira says that Brene has broken that order countless times. So again, this is in North Carolina where you can sue for this kind of stuff. So I don't know, child. Y'all tagged me in this and wanted a recap, but this.
So I want to play this video because it's very interesting. This is from ABC News.
This morning, a jury has ordered a TikTok influencer accused of breaking up a marriage to pay nearly $2 million to the jilted spouse.
I was raised to respect the marriage. I was raised to respect God. Loyalty, marriage, the White House with the picket fence and the dog and the kid, that's me.
Akira Montague sued Brene Kennard, a TikToker with millions of followers, under an unusual state law in North Carolina. Montague claiming that Kennard had an affair with her husband, and as a result, Montague claimed what's known as alienation of affection. Her attorney speaking to our station WTVD.
I think it shows the world that you should think twice before you interfere with a marriage. You should think about those children and that spouse.
The law says plaintiffs in cases like this must prove they're in a loving marriage. The third party must have knowledge of the marriage, and the marriage must have continued during the affair.
It was horrible. Even right now, I don't like going out in public with my kids because I'll get stopped in the store. I can't have fun with my kids to this day because people harass me and so it's hard.
Kennard denied the allegations and claimed the photos and videos were obtained illegally, but the judge rejected her request to dismiss the case, and the jury awarded Montague $1.75 million, one of the biggest awards of its kind in the state.
I want people to be able to think, okay, Miss Montague won $1.75 million. Is that man worth it? Is that woman worth it? They will think now.
Only 6.
Listen, I don't think she's going to see any of that money, though. Because, just to be real, most people don't have $1.75 million liquid in cash. Most people don't have a net worth of nowhere near $1.75 million. So I don't know how these things work in terms of what do they going to start garnishing her wages or stuff like. I don't understand how this works. But I don't think she's going to see any of that paper, if you asking me. She said something very interesting, though. She said that basically she believes in traditional marriage the way that God intended it to be. And obviously I deeply respect that because I as well believe in that same, construct. But your husband was on a completely different page. And this is why it's so important, because we could talk about, wives submit to your husbands. We could talk about that verse, but we have to talk about the fact that some of these dudes ain't worth nothing. They ain't worth the submit. You know what I'm saying? They're not worth it. So you're submitting to these ain't nothing dudes, right? And in your head, you are honoring God, but really he's not honoring God. He's not following God. So you're not truly in tune with the way that God wants you to honor him and glorify him in your marriage, because the individual that is in a leadership position in terms of the husband, who is the head of the marriage, biblically speaking, he's not tapped in with God. He's too worried about getting with his cousin's wife. I think it's just crazy that we have this whole world of social media where we make a terrible decision and then we immediately get on social media and we flaunt that terrible decision that we made. And we seemingly don't really feel any type of way about it.
North Carolina TikToker Brene Kennard ordered to pay $1.75 million after a jury found her liable for having an affair with her manager, Tim Montague, characterized under North Carolina law as criminal conversation and alienation of affection. Montague's ex-wife, Akira, suing Kennard for her deliberate interference in the marriage, including wrongful and malicious acts.
What's up, y'all?
Saying in a court filing, Kennard engaged in behavior designed to seduce him, like wearing very short skirts and twirling her hair in a flirtatious manner. The plaintiff's attorneys presented evidence, including sexual videos and texts, a video of Kennard dancing in the couple's home, and another video of her saying she cannot wait to be Mrs. Montague. They argued the TikToker, who had millions of followers, flaunted their relationship on social media.
Hi, guys.
That says that my client was telling the truth.
Akira Montague saying as a result of Kennard's actions, she has suffered humiliation, mental and emotional anguish, and injury to her health, adding their actions deprived their 2 young children of a 2-parent household.
She has received justice from losing her husband and the father of her children.
But Kennard argues she had Montague's consent.
She gave her consent. She said it was okay because she knew her marriage was.
Okay, but Brene, that's still your husband's cousin. That's still your husband's cousin. So, I mean, consent or no consent, that's your husband's cousin. I'm not understanding the logic here.
Was over with and it was done.
Kennard now calling herself Mrs.
I also don't know why she represented herself. Why did she represent herself in this case? Somebody please make this make sense. I'm so confused.
Montague saying the couple are married, though NBC News couldn't find any legal documentation supporting that claim. She tells NBC News in a statement, the verdict wasn't fair at all. I fought the lies for 8 days and the jury sought sympathy, not facts, adding it's not over until God says it's over.
We want to bring God into this now. I don't understand. We not talking about the same God, I guess. Change that G to a lowercase. We're not talking about the same God, because you're going to tell me that you are going to get with, based on the reports that I saw, these 2 women at one point were friends, right? Would hang out, yada, yada, yada. You're going to get with your friend's husband. Well, that's like number 1, right? That's your friend. That's your friend's husband. And you're also married. That's 3 X's right there. That's earn. And then also that's your husband's cousin. Earned. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you're going to sit here and say, it's not over until God says it's over. I don't know if you could bring God into this. In fact, I know you can't. Because God ain't standing for this. Okay.
Tim Montague adding about the TikToker, my wife had no fair shot, especially when defending herself against an entire team of attorneys.
As it should be. As you should have, if you're able to support that, you should have a team of attorneys. You should not be representing yourself. Like, I don't understand. I guess also he allegedly, he got arrested too in the courthouse because he had a firearm on him at the courthouse and he got arrested too. So
as for that $1.75 million payday,
I don't know, but she'll probably never see it.
That's what I'm talking about. But you don't got to say that out loud. I don't get what's going on. If anybody needed an attorney, you needed an attorney, because you don't got to say certain stuff out loud.
All right, Maggie joins us.
But that's what we kind of all were thinking anyway.
Why isn't the actual cheater held accountable? So in this case, the husband. the cheater's held accountable, but then you'll be suing yourself if you're married to somebody. Because that's your own pot of money. But the cheater will be held accountable in court if they get a divorce, because the divorce court will look at this and say, hey, this person was cheating on this other person. They broke their vows. They could be held responsible in divorce court and have to pay half of their life insurance, half of their retirement, and other funds towards their spouse's recovery.
Okay, so let's kind of delve into the words here. The term seduced was used in the lawsuit. So how do you prove that someone was seduced and isn't just a cheater?
In the lawsuit, you make all kinds of claims when you make a complaint. You make all kinds of complaints, but they're all types of stat.
I wanted to see if they had anything new to add to the conversation. So, okay, this is so interesting. Adultery, right? Obviously, adultery. It's related to the word adulterate, which means to corrupt, debase, or make impure by the addition of a foreign or inferior substance or element. Isn't that so interesting? Isn't that so interesting? Another definition is it means to render something poorer in quality by adding another substance. So that's the understanding of adultery. To render something poorer or lesser in quality by adding another substance. I don't know what goes on in people's minds when they get married, when they have children. I don't understand how we get to a point of selfishness where we not only step out on our spouse, on our children, on God, but we flaunt it and we act like it's a positive life decision. I'm not sure where we got that from. And so in terms of this law, I had never heard that this law even existed before. But to be honest with you, if you're going to, number one, make a covenant before God, and number two, legally say that this person is your wife or this person is your husband, I'm not all that mad at the fact that this law exists. Because if you're going to step out on God, if you're going to step out on the law that you entered into in that marriage, if there's going to be, repercussions for those actions, then it is what it is. But I think the ultimate consequence is going to be a spiritual consequence, ultimately. Because that trickles down to your family, to your children. Like, these have massive impacts. And especially the fact that they're all kind of family, that makes it even more strange and even more concerning and troubling. So, I'm praying for the children. I'm praying, honestly, for everybody involved. But my heart immediately thinks about the children in this situation. Man, what do you guys think? Get in my comments, like this video. I'm out, y'all.